We're just going to go over my role and a little bit about I'm going to preview the agenda, and then we're going to hop into something to connect each other with and learn a little bit more about each other. As your facilitator, it's my job to keep the agenda moving, and so I'm going to be like protecting our time in addition to the structure of the meeting. So generally these meetings are for like disseminating information, getting to know more about events. So we won't have a lot of time for discussion, but we'll leave some time if we do need to. But for the most part, I'm here just to guard the process of tonight. I'm also not a Harwood resident, just to disclose that. So I have no skin in the game whatsoever, so I can be even more neutral than I was before when I was a Harwood resident. And yeah, I'm happy to be here. Before we do that though, we're just going to do a couple breaths together. So if you could put your devices down, anything you have in your hand down if you'd like, or if you want to hold on to those things, that is up to you. And we're going to take 3 breaths together, and when you let them out, I want you to sigh as if you've just completed a task that was extremely hard and you're really happy to be done with it. So inhale through the nose and sigh. Second time, inhale and sigh. Drop your shoulders, maybe shake it out. Third time, and let it out. All right, and then also if you can, while you're sitting, this might be a little bit hard, see if you have room. I want you to put your arms kind of down and put your hands forward at a 90-degree angle, and we're just going to roll our shoulders back. The reason why we put our hands in that position is because there's a nerve called the ulnar nerve that runs all the way up, and whenever you put like a turn on your hand, then it kind of puts tension on that nerve. All right, shake it out. And then finally, we're just going to do a little bit of self-massage. So we're going to take the blade of our hands here, and we're just going to kind of sweep down the sides of our neck, and we're sweeping it into this pit right here, like where your clavicle meets your other muscle, or your other bones that I don't know the names of. So just sweep down into that pit a few times, maybe feel a little bit of release, add a breath in there. And then just go ahead and rub like where you swept all that into. So this is like lymphatic release. You just kind of like pushed your lymph nodes down. They kind of empty into this place, and then you're just rubbing them down. All right, cool. Okay, so for our agenda this evening, our intro is going to include an icebreaker. Then we're going to go over new roles in voting, a little bit about dues. Talk about the structure of Harwood meetings, some garden updates, talk about dumpster days. We love dumpster days. Resolutions for 2024, and then evaluation or feedback. In order to have an effective meeting, though, it's important to have a couple community agreements. So we're just going to take a couple minutes to do a few community agreements. So when I say community agreements, what does that mean? Anybody? Norms, yeah, that's a great way to describe it. Anybody else?
What we owe each other?
Ooh, whoa, okay. I guess humans or like, okay, no, that's exactly that's what we want. So what do you need from yourself or from other people to have an effective meeting? So I'm just going to capture a few here. We're not going to take a lot of time to do this. Oh, and did we want to ask for a timekeeper?
Oh, right, yeah. Please. Can we get a timekeeper, and also would anyone be willing to take notes?
I can take notes.
Great, thank you.
And so for timekeeper, basically like you can give us like a 30-minute or a 15-minute warning, or if we wanted to be more detailed, we could give you specific times for each agenda item.
Yeah, there are, let me like just jot them down so that we have a kind of a concept of what we're going for.
All right, so for community agreements, the only one that I'm bringing tonight is what I like to call lean expression. So lean expression means to say just enough, because we are a good group of people here together. What else? What do you need from yourself or from other people to have a healthy human experience here? Anybody. You could just call it out.
Respect of like people who are talking, so like no cross talking, things like that. So like, you know, even if you may not agree necessarily or you have a different opinion, it's good to generally be like, okay, this person's a human who's talking. You know?
Okay, so respect respect whoever's sharing. How about
Yeah.
that? Does that sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Anybody blocking that or hate it? No? All right. And again, this can be something that you all change as you go through the year. You can change it with the seasons. What else? Just want to get like a couple more.
Respect the time constraints.
Respect the time constraints. Whoa, I like this already. Thank you. What else? Also, I do have scented markers. They are non-toxic, so you can huff them as much as you'd like, and they won't do anything to you. They smell great. You can draw inside your mask if you want for a little bit of scent if you have a mask. But feel free to help yourself to this. And they are non-toxic. I carry them in school with me, so.
That's so good.
What else? Anybody else? Community agreements? Yeah,
Trust.
tell me more.
Like, trust in terms that we'll adhere to the community agreements.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay, let me think about how to capture that. So, when you say trust, you're like talking about like a level of faith that people are gonna abide by these? Is that what you're?
Yeah, and we'll hold you to that though also.
Well, accountability,
Okay,
yeah.
like, yeah, I think we want trust, trust and accountability very much like have to go hand in hand.
All right, because yeah, community agreements are really nice, except for when you don't get one of these things. And that is really the true test of a group of humans, is how do you handle it when these are not all met? So trust, be accountable to community agreements. Anybody else want to add one more? Maybe 5 is a great number. Yes.
Move up into sharing and move up into listening.
Ooh, okay, so can you tell me a little bit more about what you mean?
Yeah, so like, share your thoughts and also make space for other people to share their thoughts. If you're a person who finds it easy to share, and if you're a person who doesn't find it easy to share, like push yourself to share something,
Okay.
if it's meaningful to you.
If I were to paraphrase that into like listen from the heart, speak from the heart, is that not your vibe, or is that, or do you want to give me more?
I mean,
specific?
that's lovely. I think it's more about sharing the space though.
Okay,
Like having room for people to share and room for people to listen.
okay.
So it's like
Yeah,
people,
give room.
one
give
person's not
space.
just speaking,
Yeah, so,
and one person's not never speaking.
sorry, so like maybe step up, step back, does that sound good? Yeah?
Yeah, that's the,
Okay.
that is it. Some people say it that way.
Everybody knows what that means, right?
Yes.
Alright, okay, and again, like if I feel like that, any of these, I will also be a guardian of these things, so if I feel like any of these are not being met, I will just remind you. But just looking at that list, is that everybody generally okay with what we see up here? Yeah. Okay, alright, cool, thank you. And now, we're gonna do an icebreaker.
Yeah, also, would anybody be down to do timekeeping? Was there a volunteer for that?
I could do it.
Thank you, Beth.
So basically, like whenever we start an agenda item, you could like hit your timer and then maybe don't let the actual alarm go off. Or you can do that, that's really, that is the timekeeper's choice. But you could just be like, hey, like we're at time, or like, stop, or whatever. That's for you. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let's go around and just say your name and something that you were interested in 10 years ago, and then if that is still an interest of yours, or if it's significantly changed and you want to name a new interest. I can start us off. My name is Hannah, and 10 years ago, I was really into working with pastels, and now I don't really do that, and I've gotten really into stained glass recently.
I'm Savannah. 10 years ago, I was really into dancing ballet, and now I don't do that at all. But I did just start taking Budokan, which is like a martial arts meets yoga, and that is so sick. So. I'm Rosie, or Rosalie. 10 years ago, I was into leading adventure trips with teenagers in Virginia, and now I'm the camp director, so I'm still into it.
That's good. 10 years ago, I'm Matt Lewis. 10 years ago, thought I would maybe want to go to grad school, and then I really didn't think I wanted to go to grad school for a long time, but now I am in grad school for landscape architecture, which is funny, so kind of goes full circle, but not for anything I thought I would be in for.
10 years ago and
Wait,
20
what's your name?
Oh, sorry.
I did the same thing.
I'm Maggie. And 10 years ago and 20 years ago and today I just like to make miniatures. Or miniature things.
Oh, hi. My name's Christian. I don't want to repeat Matt's. So 10 years ago, I'm not yet in grad school. I think we're getting around. 10 years ago, I was kind of really a car guy, and actually now I am a train head. Really into trains.
Hi, I'm also Hannah. 10 years ago, I was really, and we've gotten a resurgence actually. 10 years ago, I was into knitting and podcasts, and literally last month, knitting and podcasts, baby. So, rediscovering hobbies.
It's a good combo.
Yeah. Alright, I'm Kiana. 10 years ago. I don't know where I was. 10 years ago. Okay, maybe it wasn't not necessarily 10 years ago, maybe not, but I thought about, I don't know, working like in a government job, but not that anymore. I'm like looking to like go abroad. Right now it's going to be from basically as an English teacher.
That's exciting.
Thank you.
Christina, let's see. 10 years ago, I really liked oil painting, which was very time consuming, a lot of drawing in between. And now, I still like it, but I feel like I'm fighting to make time for it, but it's a good fight, I think.
My name is Patrick, and 10, 20, but not 30 years ago, I was obsessed with tennis, and I still am.
I'm Daniel. See, 20 years ago, I was really into like dirt bikes, and then 10 years ago, I was really into motorcycles, and now I'm going really hard back to dirt bikes because the dirt is much softer.
So I'm Mike. I don't know what the prompt is, but I'm guessing I do.
Interesting.
Something that you were interested in. Yeah, use your context clues.
Based on context clues, 25 years ago, I really liked looking at Star Wars action figures, and today I really still do.
I'm Zach. 10 years ago, I really was into the idea of finding a full-time job with benefits. 10 years later, the blushes off that road was a little bit, but I'm still happy to have one, sort of.
Yeah, I'm Mike. 10 years ago, I guess I was glad that I eked in buying a house in this area while I was still in my 20s. And now, I still am in love with my house, but I'm trying to figure out whether or not I'll still be mistaken for a 20-something as I turn 40 tomorrow, so.
I'm Adam. 10 years ago, I was into vegan cooking, and I'm still into vegan cooking.
I'm Roy Marcus. I guess 10 years ago I had a rescue dog. And I don't know, maybe 5 years ago he died. But he lived a long life, like 15 years.
Oh, that's good.
And then I was able to get a rescue cat.
Oh.
Both animals would be rescued. And the cat's great. And I came from Harwood.
I'm David. 10 years ago, I was kind of getting into running, and then I quickly got out of it. But now I just, as in 10 years ago, as I was doing right before coming here, is I'm working on artwork. I do drawings, and I'm having a show next month.
Details.
Yeah, you'll have to put it up on the board.
Yeah, I'm having a show at Goya Contemporary. I show with them. They're in Hamden in the Mill Center.
Oh, hi, I'm Mildred. 10 years ago, I was working a full-time job, part-time job, thinking about retiring. I'm retired.
Well chosen.
Hi, my name is Mary. 10 years ago, I was working also, and now I am also retired. But I always wanted to learn how to read Braille, and I just started.
Hi, I'm Phil. 10 years ago I was 15, so that's crazy to think about. And I was obsessed with skateboarding, and I still skate to this day, so yeah.
I'm Isaac. 10 years ago, I had a job that sent me all over the world. That was amazing. I filled up my passport in 2 years. Latin America, Asia, Sub-Saharan Africa, all over the place. I do not travel very much anymore. Someday I would like to do more traveling, but I traveled because I had a job that paid for it, and I can't afford to do it on my own. And I got a kid. I still travel occasionally.
Hi, I'm Matt. 10 years ago, most of my Monday and Tuesday nights consisted of drinking pints and sips of whiskey at Liam Flynn's Ale House on North Avenue. Now, my Monday nights are community associations and Tuesday nights are scout meetings, so that's what's making difference.
Thank you. Everybody get a chance to speak? We got everybody? Okay. All right, so we're
One
gonna,
more.
oh, come on in.
She's waiting on our pizza.
Yeah.
The 10-year prompt.
I'm gonna be here like 5 minutes. I just wanna make sure I grab them so they know where to go. Laura, I live on 128th in Guilford, and I'm an artist and a grad student, and yeah.
The prompt was, what was something you were into 10 years ago, and are you still into it?
It's a great question. I used to do a lot more performance 10 years ago, and now I do most of the behind the scenes stuff. But I still really like going to shows and theater and stuff in Baltimore.
And thank you for waiting for the pizza.
Yes.
All right, so our next agenda item is to talk about new roles, and we're gonna do some voting.
Yeah, so last month we walked away from here without a president. I think that we've had several discussions since then about what exactly that would mean for Harwood, and ultimately decided that after feedback from the community at large, it seems like everyone would much prefer that there be a president to fill in things that sometimes have expectations, even arbitrary, of there being a president. That being said, none of us at this time feel like it's a commitment that we can take on for a full year. Did want to open up this space right now to say anyone from the community can be the president. Is anyone interested? then the proposal here is that I'm willing to, I would love to continue in the direction that we've been going in the past year. I was the secretary last year. Right now, that's the position I still hold. But if you all want to vote for me, I can be the president for the first 6 months until we break for the summer, and then when we come back, we would have someone else from the board step into the role, or if someone else from the community decided. And right now, it's looking like Savannah would, if that is.
We'll see.
Yeah.
See what
So
happens.
everybody hear the proposition,
Yes.
understand what that was? Okay.
That's great.
Okay. Okay.
All
Someone else has to ask if everyone will vote for me.
in favor of?
I move that you be placed in the position of president for the tentative next 6 months.
Second.
Second.
Second time.
Okay, and then also that would mean that Maggie wants to step in as our new secretary.
Do we need a proposition for that too?
I also second that.
Yep. Thanks, Maggie. Okay, that's it. We didn't need 10 minutes for that.
All right.
That's great.
I wanted to, for the new folks that got here, we did an icebreaker right before you came. You can participate, or if it's voluntary. But we just shared our name and something that you were doing / interested in 10 years ago, and are you still doing it today? You can also just tell us your name.
First, okay. My name's Sarah. Something I was interested in 10 years ago was environmental engineering, and I'm still doing it today.
Nice.
It's weird to me every day.
Thank you.
My name is Maya, and 10 years ago, I was playing high school basketball, and I am now playing basketball, but I'm interested in returning to playing it, not in such an intense way.
Thank you. All right, well, that was our election cycle. That's pretty great. Pretty good job, everyone. Okay, so dues. Who would like to talk to us about dues?
Yes, there are dues, and they're $10 for the year. If you can either Venmo me, and I can put my Venmo up there, or you can use the link that's on our website. Or you can opt out of dues and do volunteering or flyering or anything like that. We have a little form, and it can tell you like the 3 things that you can do instead of paying your $10 dues if you want.
Any questions about
Yes.
dues?
What do the dues do?
When are they due? They're
No,
never-
what are they for?
Oh, what, okay, I'm like, they're never due. They're used, for us to hold our meetings, for us to rent the space out, for us to provide food, for us to hire people to make graphics or flyers, or just whatever the programming that, the association gets done every year, whatever it entails, like, it's meant to support our programming endeavors. So, yeah, so dues are very helpful, but if you don't have that money, there's a lot of other stuff you can do.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah. Also, technically, you can't vote unless you're paid to the dues or you're a volunteer.
Thanks. Go ahead.
No, could we have the Venmo on the board?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Anything else about dues? Everybody good? All right, wow, moving right along.
Yeah. If interested in volunteering, would an email, contact, text be sent out?
Yeah, there's a WhatsApp group, so.
Oh, yeah, I'm on.
Yeah, you can just get in contact with people through the WhatsApp. We also have a Slack. I don't know if anyone's still using that.
I feel like the Slack we haven't really been using but if you email info@harwood, communityassociation.org.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, or if you go to Harwood Community Association on Google, like the website will come up and it'll have links for it'll have the contact information to provide that stuff. Or you can talk to any of the people who are on the board.
Yeah, talk
Yeah.
to somebody after the meeting, we'll put you in the WhatsApp.
There are all these like different programs that like an individual heads or like a group of people do, so you just have to get in touch with them and you can find out where you want to volunteer.
Okay, so I
It's
am
like
on.
10 hours, 11 hours? How many hours volunteerism?
4.
Was it
4 hours.
I think it's 4.
4 hours, so it's alright.
Alright, so Harwood Association, because I think I am already on the WhatsApp, on the general group, if that's what you're referring to, so,
Yes.
alright.
Yeah, and really that's a great space to just say, hey, I am looking to volunteer with the Harvard Community Organization, and then one of us will see that and reach out to you directly to say, here's the things that are going on that you can volunteer for.
Alright, thanks.
And we're at time for dues.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Although we are running very early.
All right, so we're gonna talk about the structure of our meetings and what we're gonna be doing in the future as well.
I think we'll also use this time to circle back to something about the roles Savannah brought up, that this, in the December meeting, we talked a lot about how, although there are designated titles for the president, vice president, the secretary, and the treasurer, and then board members at large, we really try to split up the duties in ways that each member can work on something that they're interested in, also don't get burnt out at any one task, and share the responsibilities, and also so we can all learn the different strengths of each role, and that there's also not just a power grab, so that it's all kind of spread out well, and also regardless of being on the board or not, anyone within the community is encouraged to participate in any way that they want to. I
Yeah,
think-
real horizontal leadership right here.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm the president now so that I can sign president on things, that expect president on things, I think that's the sense I get from Mike's presidentship, although Mike did much more than that, but. And Mike will be helping me to become president also. We live in the same house, so it's really helpful.
Sounds very presidential.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then as far as structure of Harwood things, we discussed in December, having a space where we can have like designated discussions about big topics that impact the neighborhood, and along with that, it's important, I think, that we break down what the community association meetings are. And Daniel pointed to this briefly at the beginning too, that this is really a space for us to connect on updates of what's been going on and connect with each other and find out about ways to tap in, share announcements, share asks. But now moving forward, we're trying to structure in, for this year, piloting like a biannual forum. And so that would be a time, we're thinking in April and in September, where there would be more room for everyone to speak for a period of time on the topic at hand. The way that we, as the board, have been talking about it, is that the first one would focus probably on kind of the infrastructure of the neighborhood and how, like, roads, and there's always a lot of concern about how cars speed through this neighborhood, and so this first forum in April would focus on transportation and infrastructure of the neighborhood. And then we were thinking that the second one, another topic that comes up a lot in these meetings and in the WhatsApp are around public safety and the Johns Hopkins private police and police more generally and and community safety, and what keeps us safe. I think that because of the capacity of a board of volunteers, 2 forums for this year is really what we feel like we can handle. But wanted to open up this conversation again now that we're starting to think about what exactly these forum topics would be about, to see if that is vibing with everyone or if we should revisit either of those topics.
Okay, so what are people's thoughts? Yeah, you just raise your hand if you want and I'll keep the stack. And the question was like, what are your thoughts about having 2 forums this year? The first one in April would be around community infrastructure stuff, and then the one in September would be community safety. What are people's thoughts?
So let's see. So the first one's beginning, second is, which is on September, is public safety, and third one hasn't been thought of yet.
We're just thinking of
two.
2.
Oh,
We're just
two
thinking,
for the
proposing
year?
2.
Yeah.
But it's still up in there.
I think that's great because we've never done that before, and so people get to voice their opinions about, and we really need one on public safety, so that's really good, But that's a very good idea.
Thanks, Mary. Go ahead.
Whatever happened to the guy that was like the retired detective or sergeant guy who would come in and talk to us about, he'd make everybody aware of what's happening in the neighborhoods.
Is this the public safety guy who does stuff with the Charles Village Community Benefits District?
I can't remember his name, but he used to come to our meetings and he would like fill us in on.
Do you guys remember his name?
No, but he worked with the police department and Hopkins, he was like a little liaison between the two, and would give us all the information, but I really don't know.
That was helpful, it was like informative.
Someone can ask Kyle.
Maybe we get him back.
Was that like pre-pandemic?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Because there's a person who does that for the Community Benefits District. So I
An
can see
older,
if-
thick guy?
Is what?
Is he
Older,
an
thick
older,
guy?
thick gentleman?
Sick? No.
Thick.
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 Thick. Yeah, that might be him.
We can also look into, people that work in this area and would be willing to come and speak and.
He would give you tips on how to make your house safer, or, there's some lady who she was like a porch pirate, she kept taking people's packages off their porches, and like what was happening with her, she.
Yeah,
just
kind
out
of a
there.
proactive
Yeah, no, you just feel, I
approach.
can't remember his name. But Miller would know who he is.
Okay, Miller?
Past president.
Okay, I can ask Miller, yeah.
So I'll hand over here.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if like the format is gonna be like a panel, kind of similar question, I guess, around like speakers, and would it be like a panel and that kind of thing?
That's a great question, and that ties into, we have some thoughts on committees to be formed, and also want to ask if there are other committees that feel like there's a need for them, also where people are interested in tapping in. No one here is required to join a committee, of course, but here are areas that we already know and have identified as needing some extra organizing around, and one of those is forum planning. And so actually this Thursday, we are meeting with some of the folks from the Barclay Community Association to discuss, they're doing something similar this year, and gonna join together and discuss what structure that should look like. So if anyone is interested in joining that conversation, and even if you're not free on Thursday, that's an initial conversation with Barclay, but we'll have more as just our neighborhood.
Do you have another, we're gonna go there first and then you.
Oh, okay, sorry. And then as far as forums go, so if people, I just wanted to emphasize the point, if more people join the forum planning and we have more capacity, we can make these more than biannually.
That's true.
Right? So like, it's really all that we have capacity for. And of course, like, yeah, we it would be great to have a forum every month on different topics, whatever, until we like run out, right? I don't even know, but like, it's, at this point, we are a group of volunteers that can't make that happen. And so unless more people kind of widen our ability to do that, and unfortunately, we'll still be at 2 per year, but again, more people, more forums, hey? Maybe, hopefully. That was my comment.
Also, just like, personally, I would be happy to help do the forums in any way.
Cool.
That's exciting.
Did you have your hand? Oh, sorry.
I did.
Go ahead. You-
Well, I guess discussion wise, well, okay, maybe there's a consensus of at least people in the room about, necessities, like in terms of like food or transportation, like in the, I guess, neighborhood. I know it's a very sensitive topic, so it's,
Like mutual aid.
yeah, something like that too. Like helping each other's neighbors out, so network up on that kind. I know there's a benefit, but only that can go so far for some people.
Did you have a response to that, Savannah, or?
Yeah, I feel like one of the things that we talked about, or were talking about last year as a board is like putting together like a community resource database, like on, maybe on the website. So, which I was trying to do that and then I totally lost track of time. But, so yeah, if anybody is interested to do that or wanna work on that,
You guys
Yeah.
ever have to WhatsApp at some point?
yeah,
All of us remember.
yeah, that would work.
Do you wanna write mutual aid on the committees,
Yeah.
or resources, or?
I also just want to encourage, like, as you're thinking of these like really great ideas, just remembering that it does take like time and energy to make them happen. And it can be a great way to invite other people who are not involved to be like, hey, I need some help putting together a resource list, or I need some help doing this. So just wanted to encourage that. What else? Oh yeah, go ahead.
Not extremely sure that this is appropriate for this, but it's not so much a committee, but I would love to, and I was planning on just getting on the Harwood group to see who wanted to help with lighting initiatives. Specifically kind of like the like tea lights. Or, and we started them in the alleyways, and we definitely want to finish those. Probably be like the main priority, and maybe explore if, explore if the neighborhood would be interested in having them in the fronts of the houses as well. Not yet installing, just rather actually asking people, probably door knock. So if you feel like that's something you feel like you want to help me do,
I'm sorry, what's your name?
Christian.
Christian, okay, yeah, so anybody interested in lighting, Christian.
Christian, is there still a charge for the lighting?
I don't know. I don't actually know anything that's going on in the program. I just wanted to see who wanted to come together and find these things out.
I think Kyle, he was kind of running with that before. He had all the special tools and cables, and he had bought a whole bunch of stuff. We were helping him put them up. I think you helped us at one day.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll ask Kyle a bit more information. I think it was Kyle and Roy from the guy that owns the Toki building. He was helping doing that. So really at this point I'm really just still looking for information. And I think Russell was also in charge of a grant that was given for that. So
I don't know about that because I live down in the 2600 block of Barclay Street, and they were asking for $100 per household because they have them on Lorraine, and they're coming around to Barclay Street, and they were asking for $100 per household to run those lights. Now in the alleys, I'm not sure, but I know on the front, Tamara was
On that
asked,
corner?
yeah, yeah, they were asking for $100 for that.
So I think that was a block initiative, I don't wanna take more time, but that was a block initiative, as opposed to like the alley was from a grant that the association got.
Oh,
And so
okay,
they were probably just being like, hey, do you wanna be included in our thing, but it's $100.
yeah.
The Harwood Association thing, at least in my experience, I was not asked to contribute any money as a private person, because they're doing it in the back of my alleyway, and we got halfway and we never finished it, but I never paid anything, and I helped install stuff, so.
But are you gonna do, is Hardwood gonna do all alleys in this community here?
I would hope so.
So we got a few hands up, and I wanna,
We have 50 seconds left in this topic.
thank you, Jackie.
Maybe it's just-
I saw Hannah, Sarah, and Isaac.
I feel like I've talked a lot, I'm gonna let someone else.
Sarah.
Yeah, so that was funded by the grant that we've now returned the money to, so you will probably just have to open that back up
Okay.
in order to get more funding. It was like a alley lighting project grant, and they didn't finish, and there was like a lot of leftover money, but like the grant association, asked for it back, so we just have to, we'll probably have to reopen, reapply, and then get it. But I really wanna help out with that.
Cool.
Look at that.
The other thing I'll add, that was sort of like a pilot, wasn't it? It wasn't intended to do all of the alleys. I think that they did a limited number of alleys. As sort of a proof of concept, and to see if there was interest beyond a specific, like, limited number of alleys.
It was the 300 block and the 500 block.
Yes, I would like to do Miss Lorraine touch green now.
All right, so,
Okay.
okay.
I'm gonna say, maybe at the end of this meeting, if you're interested in participating in any of these committees, just put your name up underneath, and your name, phone number, email, however you like to be contacted.
Also, everybody's getting some of this pizza at the back,
Yeah,
feel
just
free
read it,
to.
so.
All right, our next agenda item is garden updates.
That's me. Hello. So basically, I'm gonna say actually. So basically, we have a garden. It's a community garden. Right now, everything's dead in it, and that's good. That's fine. Next Saturday, the 13th, at 1 p.m. I'm meeting with at least one of the people that has classically been kind of involved, Keith. And he's giving me basically turning over the keys to the kingdom. He no longer lives in the area, and he really wants people who live in the area to be more involved, which is great. So I'm gonna go beat seed bank, and we're talking social media. And I figured that's also a good time to let people who want to come and, tell us what type of food that they eat, so we can grow it, type deal.
Where is that meeting happening?
That's happening at Peabody Heights.
Peabody Heights, Saturday.
Saturday,
1 p.m.
1 p.m. Yep. And if you can make it, great. If you wanna say, we have a garden WhatsApp. If you're in it, you can also send me stuff. If you're in the general Harwood WhatsApp, I'm also there. You can send me a private message to ask for hey, can you give me an update on this? Generally, there isn't a lot to do in January past let's clean up the garden, clear up the poison ivy type deal, make sure everything looks fine for the coming growing season, and planning out seeds and what is going to be grown. We also, there's the official Harwood Community Garden, and then we have a sort of guerrilla garden.
Yeah,
by Phil.
actually,
Huh?
not a guerrilla garden anymore. I just signed the adopt-a-lot papers. I think Isaac and Mary and Sarah, everybody who came out there and volunteered or wrote a letter,
That's so exciting.
and a lot of people who pressured the planning board to get that. So,
Oh, so good.
so yeah, and I am doing a lot of work there now. So if anybody wants to furiously dig in the ground,
Absolutely.
yeah, hop on the group chat. It's Boone and 27th Street.
So if you go like directly across the street from the current community garden, and then like over where the bus stop is, it's right behind there.
It's like a little bit down the hill,
Yeah.
Green Mountain, basically. So yeah, there's a lot of work to be done there, and yeah, gotta do a crop plan as well. So if anyone wants to, I think the tentative plan is like more regular stuff at community garden and crazier stuff at my place. So I was growing like super hot peppers. So if anyone has like weird specialty crops that they are like, I really want to grow this, suggest that to me.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I know I like blew you off before the semester ended because I had so much more, but I'm like off for a little bit, so
Okay,
I need
so-
to connect all
yeah.
that. That'd be fun. It looks cool when you're driving by. It's like the smell look cool.
What is a guerrilla garden? So a guerrilla garden is basically anywhere where you're not technically supposed to garden, but like, there's a little squash there, there's a little tomato plant there.
Gardening on land that you don't have legal access to. But since there's a lot of vacant properties here, there is a need to like use things, you know, but there's a lot of hurdles you have to go through to like actually get legal access to technically use things.
So,
I'm sorry, I have one other question.
Sure.
Isaac, did you have your hand up?
No, no, no.
Okay, other than the community garden we have on the end of Whitridge, what other one do we have?
So that's the one that I am kind of taking the keys of the kingdom for. And then Phil, if you go across the street from that garden, and then you go towards the Red Line bus stop, behind that bus stop is, in that lot,
Okay, yeah,
that's it, that's where it is.
gotcha.
So
So
we're-
we're a guerrilla garden that's now being
That's now
official.
a good like a legal garden,
Okay.
full, perfectly signed off legal.
Yeah.
The gorillas were triumphant, and right now,
Yes, it's a, yeah. And so if you have any like specific things, again, like, in the community garden, it's a lot of, more traditional things that the community actually uses, collards, tomatoes, some eggplants, some peppers, stuff like that. We generally try not to do new things in there, mostly because like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, A, and B, people eat what they know. And so if they don't know this weird and interesting new vegetable that you have to process in a certain way, but man, it grows a bunch and it's delicious, it's not gonna really go smoothly for those who we can't really reach as well, right? Accessibility is something you have to consider.
So what's grown right now?
Right now, it is, it's up to us on what's gonna grow.
I know like right now, like this month.
Right now, there is nothing growing in there. There might be some collards, like, still hanging in there. We've had multiple frosts, but we've kind of left everything up. It's good for the bugs, it's good for the pollinators that we do that, so that we overwinter kind of like that. But it does kind of look like a mess, so probably in February, I'll try to get people together to like, hey, let's kind of do something with this.
I think Isaac, when we just.
Oh, yes.
so, yeah, we have the WhatsApp channel for the garden. There is also a WhatsApp channel for the community association, for anybody who's here who's not on that. Make sure you talk to me, at some point during the end of this meeting. I can make sure you get on either or both of those. I will also put a link to the community garden WhatsApp on the main community association WhatsApp, so that other folks who haven't had that chance. But there is a lot that can be done, and we have not made a really concerted effort to focus what we're doing. We've taken a rather laissez-faire approach, which is great because plants grow even when you're not messing with them.
Yeah.
But we could do a lot more, I think, if we plan. And so I would encourage you, if you thought about volunteering, show up Saturday, and these are two separate gardens. I think we're gonna try to maybe even like let them express two separate philosophies, but we also wanna make sure that they're mutually reinforcing.
Yeah. We have extra mulch.
Yeah,
Right.
I have a lot of mulch.
Oh.
I have a lot of rocks, if you guys need any rocks.
Aw, man.
Anything.
Dude, I don't know if we do, but if we do,
I also just got a corded chainsaw, because I know we had a lot of
oh, the big,
log rounds that were
Yeah.
dropped off from the mulch there, so
we're gonna do a splitting party at some point.
Yeah.
So exciting.
I have a maul and a couple axes and
Any other garden updates? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just wondering, I mean, I assume the two WhatsApps exist because the garden has enough traffic that they shouldn't be merged, but how often do you cross-post like bigger things onto the main Harwood Association WhatsApp for the garden? Or do you not at all?
So like generally, we do like, hey, I'm gonna be in the garden at this time if anybody wants to come and be together doing garden things in like the community garden chat. But I do have like to-do lists for every month as far as like what would be good to do by the end of the month. And I think I will try to be like, hey guys, there's gonna be a garden meeting at this time in the main WhatsApp, just to kind of let people know, keep it top of mind. I'm also gonna try to like be here every month, at least during the growing season, somewhat. I know we take a little break for summer, but what's growing in the garden generally, and like how you can get to it, stuff like that.
Were you saying like you were looking for more cross-posting so that like you could stay informed, or?
Yeah, because I maybe wouldn't join the gardening group, but would be interesting to know if like there were, you know, a particular need for labor or, you know.
big
I-
events get cross-posted.
Great, that was pretty much what I was looking for.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Any other thoughts? Oh, go ahead, Seth.
I just had a question on this topic. Does anyone know about the tree planting initiative on Greenmount that Ainsley is heading? Like, is there updates on that? Or would it
That's
be under
happening,
this?
right? I think
Yeah,
that
it is happening.
yeah, they went to Tree Trust and they went out there and, well, they have to like mark out where the utility lines are.
Yeah.
And then they have to cut up pieces of the sidewalk tiles first.
Okay.
And I think that is gonna happen in spring, if I remember what you said correctly.
How do we get involved with that?
Okay, I used to work for
Is
Blue
Ainsley-
Water and like, I worked in the same building as Tree Trust, so I assume it's pretty similar, but when we were doing tree plantings, like we would put up, hey, we're doing volunteer tree planting in Harwood. So I guess if you go to their website, Tree Trust website, or their Instagram, maybe look out for that. They don't always do that though.
But like, was this spearheaded by Ainsley, or
Yes.
was it through?
Yeah, it was Ainsley.
Okay.
Ainsley, he's not here tonight, he did say he will remain, even though he's no longer formally a board member, he did express a desire to stay involved, so he will be back. I'll follow up with him to get more information on the trees.
Yeah, a volunteer day would be cool. And we're at time for this topic, by the way.
Thank you.
There is also a garden beautification committee.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, moving on to dumpster days. Also, we have a half hour left and 25 minutes of program, so doing great. Dumpster days, talk to us about those delicious dumpster days.
Yes, the most delicious of days. Sorry, bad moment to eating pizza. So, let's see, so our 4 dumpster days are scheduled. Right now, we have the first one will be at Ilchester and Barclay, on March 9th.
Did you say March 9th?
Yes, March 9th. But, and, I think we'll also put all the dates in the agenda, just so everybody knows, but, the next one will be May 18th. And then August 10th. And October 5th. They're all Saturdays. Last year we had some issues where like they were planned for between like 9 and 1 p.m. But of course we're close to where the dumpsters leave from, so they tend to arrive earlier than that. So that's something I have to talk to 311 about. But as of the moment, I would expect them to be between 8 a.m. and noon, because that seems a little bit more reasonable than a nice, easy 9 a.m.
And then we tried to do this last year where we moved the location of the dumpster, so, and like so each quad of the neighborhood could get easier access. So, and this corner where it's gonna be at for the first day didn't get hit really at all last year, so, so we'll start from there and and just work either clockwise or counterclockwise, so, yeah.
I have a question about that. So for the dumpsters themselves, is it that they're going to be there until like, I guess the end time, or they get filled up and then they never show up again, or?
4 hours.
Yeah, they only get to be there for a 4-hour window.
Okay, but if they're filled before the 4 hours, do they come back?
What do you mean, who
They
comes
don't,
back?
so they don't empty and then bring a new empty one
Yeah.
for us, so it's,
Yeah, well, once it's filled, they close the gate, but like, they don't come pick it up until the 4-hour window is up.
Okay.
Yeah, but they're not gonna bring a new one that same day. So if it gets filled up in the first hour, that's it. So, which is also a thing to think about if you're going to be either helping somebody or you have stuff for dumpster day, is try to be there as early as possible, because as much as we would like to be there, there are contractors and stuff that follow the dumpsters, they're not supposed to, however, they still do that, so that's something to keep in mind. Yeah.
like, does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Isaac.
Also, the Charles Village Community Benefits District also does dumpsters. They will give us dates based on our dates, so that
Yeah.
they don't put 2 dumpsters in our neighborhood on the same weekend. But so, there will be more than 4 dumpsters this year, most likely. But we will have to give you updates and hear from them on when those dates are.
Yeah, and I have given Keith who's in charge of their cleanup program, those dates, but, I'll reach out to him this week. But, also, we tried to do this last year where we had a couple people who, were contactable to set up like helping like some of the older people or disabled people in the neighborhood with stuff. So that's something we'll try to coordinate hopefully a month out this time, now that I'm a little bit more mentally prepared for this stuff, so, cause last time I was a little bit rushed, so.
Any other questions about dumpster days?
Location will be in the email that you sent out.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think that the first one was for Ilchester, corner of Ilchester and Barclay, you said?
Yeah, so the first one will be there, and then we'll like get a new location for the next one. And they'll be announced for sure though.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're at time for that one.
All right, perfect. Okay, so next we're gonna talk about resolutions for 2024. I think that was about like seeing what committees people maybe wanted to join, but you wanna talk a little about that?
Yeah, now that it's broken down like this, I can't remember what was in which section, but, yeah, we can talk more about committees. I mean, then we can just read off which ones there are.
Is this like a vision for what we want that year to be?
Yeah, and then there's also that, it's, like, just in this meeting, I've heard, interest expressed in taking back up the lighting, which was brought up several times last year too. So that seems like that would be one that would go into resolutions, things that we want to make sure that we focus on or make some movement on in the coming year.
Okay, so for the committees we have up here, or action categories, lighting, website, social media maintenance, forum planning, garden beautification, outreach, and mutual aid. So I mean, if folks want to take this time to like come put your information up there, or if you have any thoughts, comments, or questions about the committees that you see up there.
I think it could be cool to combine lighting with general alleyway cleanup, because when I was flyering for this meeting, and I hit like 400 houses, and I was walking through all the alleyways, and a lot of them are really just filled with trash.
Yeah.
And we have dumpster days, so we could maybe even make like a volunteer day around like, let's go.
Yeah, that's what we tried to do last year.
Okay.
Yeah, Charles Village Community Benefits District provides us with brooms and trash bags and stuff like that. So yeah, that would be.
Anybody have any other ideas? I mean, this is a good amount of committees to have.
Yeah, that's really.
And I don't see names by all these, so if we don't have names and numbers, then we don't have to. Yeah, grab the sending markers.
You smell good. Great.
Oh my goodness.
Great bags.
It's a fresh batch. We got a fresh batch.
We do every year.
Or is this like a separate?
Yeah, oh wait, I have it written down.
I was thinking, there's been like a call to just define what the outreach committee is.
That's for.
Sorry, if I could just be quiet real quick so we can listen.
Individual people.
Somebody had a question about what the outreach committee does.
Yep, yeah, so the outreach committee is, that's for flyering not only about these community association meetings, but anything going on in the community. Also, we, over the last year, have really been trying to boost our efforts to get more of the community engaged. And that.
So, I just want to observe, I'm having a little bit of trouble hearing. Could we?
If we have private conversations, maybe hallway would be a good place for people.
Whoever had the question about the outreach committee there, did they get their question answered? So like, for example, Phil did like flyering for this meeting, and that's an example of something the outreach committee could do. Isaac?
The issue with the outreach committee also is that we see a lot of the same people here, and there are people who don't come, there are people who can't come, and there are people we would love to have more of, and I think the outreach committee is also a great place for those conversations to happen in terms of like, how can we get more people involved? But also, I mean, not everybody needs to be here, but how can we make sure that people know about what we're doing?
Touching on what Hannah and Isaac said, so there's, to me with outreach, there's two sides of this. So on the one hand, our outreach is astronomical for a neighborhood association of our size. Like, to try to do flyering for an entire neighborhood and to try to build a much bigger like ratio of the neighborhood that's like a participating in the neighborhood association is awesome, and I think we're doing a great job in getting a lot of that. Also, there's like a gigantic amount still to do if we want to be have deeper connection and be more relevant. So I think it's like huge endeavor. It doesn't have to. Yeah, we can continue to like outreach even more than we are, and then also, in order to keep, it's cool that we've done as much as we have in terms of like flyering, and I think the outreach committee's been really exciting to me.
Yeah, and I think door knocking is a big potential to like actually go up and meet people where they're at. I mean, I know that people who came out and volunteered for the flyering, like we said, some of them don't have the time to come to Monday meetings. So there's a lot of groundwork to be done like in between each meeting. So that's where like people in the neighborhood can plug in if they can't like come to Monday meetings.
Thank you. While folks are still signing up, there are no names next to forum planning or website, just saying.
Website.
So I missed the conversation around the forum. What exactly is that?
So the forums, so basically we have noticed past year we got feedback that like more discussion is needed about certain issues around the forums or around like in the neighborhood, and so instead of taking up a lot of time during community meetings, people necessarily don't always aren't always the most informed as they could be, don't have time for research and stuff. we decided, or we thought it would be helpful to do 2 forums twice a year, basically. And the first one would be on cars and transportation, and the next one would be on public safety. The transportation also includes like infrastructure, so like, hey, our kids are walking to school, how is that being done? Things like that.
There's also the train renovation,
Yep.
construction. It'll be a place for all those.
And just, generally, what it's looking like right now is that it'll take the place of a regular meeting, and then we'll write up updates for each committee, basically, and then disseminate that, but, that can also change with the forum planning. But yeah, basically, we notice the need, and we wanna respect everyone's time, but we also wanna engage people to be involved.
They don't taste good, try it. All right, we'll take like another minute, and then we're gonna shift into our last agenda item.
Is there like a point person for each of these?
A great question.
Or who's gonna handle the thing?
So at least for the garden, I will be contacting y'all either by email or by text. I don't know yet. But I will get there and you will be contacted and I'll say, hey, this is the monthly to-dos or whatever. Or, here's the WhatsApp or something like that. There will be food eventually.
Does, people that signed up for lighting or alley cleanup, is there a point person that someone wants to step into that space?
Oh,
Christian.
I can be point person for lighting.
Okay, Christian is the, cool, okay.
You can go ahead.
I'll just write your name right there. And, yeah, mutual aid doesn't really have a point person either.
I'm a forum planning point person.
Okay, and, what's your last initial?
Young.
Okay.
Mutual aid.
I know that. I actually know 2 other hands in Baltimore.
I went to school with the person who had the same exact first, middle, and last name.
Wow.
That's me, yeah.
Oh, just Hannah.
No, Hannah Reed works.
They should have moved it.
Okay, I got you.
You break it in half, it's the same.
I was gonna just, put out a thought, and I'm farming it a little bit.
Yeah.
This is kind of a new concept, or is this something that?
What is it?
No, the mutual aid, like that as. So it's not something that's really.
We have committees last year, and last year we all board members and we were figuring out.
Okay, I was just gonna say that, it seems in part tied to like, obviously the farm, and in part also tied to like outreach and stuff, and like outreach to local businesses. And I have a little bit of experience working with another organization that have a benefit section, and I am always, interested in like connecting and connecting to the methods that they used. So I can like take some time and I'll put my name and like think about that, and I think that if we like had the capacity.
But
to
yeah,
grow it.
put your name up there, but like
Yeah.
your thoughts down in the group chat, and see if we are at time, but we are running around.
All right, so the last part of the meeting is usually reserved for any other announcements, but evaluation and feedback. I didn't really check in to see how y'all normally do this, but
I think we should start with if there are any other announcements that folks want to share.
yeah, and also, before we do that, like, can all the board members that are here, just for everybody, again, to like, and just stand up, say what your position is and what your name is, and we'll start here and then go around.
Cool, so I'm Mike, board member at large.
Adam, also at large.
Phil, board member at large, but mostly gardening stuff.
Hannah, president.
I'm Savannah, I'm the community liaison to the Charles Village Community Benefit
She loves her job.
Oh, look at you. I'm Maggie and I'm the secretary. I'm Hannah and I'm board member at large. Mostly garden though.
I'm Isaac, I'm the vice president.
I'm Sarah, I'm the treasurer.
And I'm Christian, board member at large.
Yay, thank you.
It's okay, I'm in a corner behind you. Matt, board member at large, which translates to I do the live stream aspect of these meetings.
Thank you, man.
Great, thank you.
Oh wait, hey, we had
How many viewers?
4 people viewing it. And 2 people viewed for more than 30 minutes.
That's
Until 7:30, and then they had to go.
Okay.
But that's progress. That's an increase.
Any questions, concerns?
No, it seems like everybody's covered everything fairly thoroughly for our audience.
Okay, great.
But I just wanted to share that glow.
Great, thank you. All right, so any other announcements, community announcements, bulletins?
Just now, I decided we are gonna go out to my space, which is 27th and Blue Street, Garden. Thursday, noon to 3. I'll put that in the group chat, so if you guys wanna help dig swales or mulch a lot of stuff, or like, just clean up trash, or like stack rocks up, or like, there's a lot of stuff to do, so.
You said this Saturday?
This Thursday.
This Thursday, sorry.
Thursday, noon to 3, so this is for the unemployed people.
Noon to 3.
Would it be okay if you made a list of everything and then like.
Of to-dos?
Of to-dos, yeah, and, cause like I work until 3:30.
Yeah.
So like, I'm not able to make it when everyone else can, but I would love
No,
to stack some
Yeah,
blocks.
yeah, for sure. I will put a list, and I'm also, we should also do a joint day on like a Saturday, Sunday. I really think we should plan that, like sometime late January, early February.
100%.
So we will be doing that, but TBD.
Okay. Any other announcements before I ask for some feedback about the meeting? Okay, so just like informal feedback, you can offer like a plus, which is like something that you liked about it, that you want to continue, or like a delta, which is like something that you would change. Obviously, this is only one form of gathering feedback. If you don't feel like saying it out loud, verbally, which can be hard sometimes, you're more than welcome to pass that on to any of the board members. But anybody wanted to, and that could be about what literally happened in the meeting, or like the meeting structure, or the pizza, or the lighting, or I don't know. But yeah, any feedback that folks want to offer for the meeting or for meetings moving forward. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I mean, I thought it was a good meeting, great to facilitate. I do think that for a little while there, we lapsed into a lot of overlapping side conversations, and maybe in the future, that could be either like, if something on the agenda needs a bunch of side conversations, we could put 5 minutes aside to like kind of break and do that, because instead it was just kind of a lot of crosstalk while some people were still sort of doing like a more centralized meeting, and it was kind of hard to follow. But that was my only.
Thank you. That's important just for accessibility, so that we can hear. I also, just for myself, I work at public school, so I'm very permissive when it comes to side conversations, so that's also kind of on me, and thank you for that. It's like, if people aren't actively throwing chairs at each other, I'm like, all right, we're doing it. But I get that this is a different space, so I appreciate that. Other folks?
So I like that there were a lot of questions, and a delta is, I'd like to see different forms of meeting interaction. So like a lot of it was full circle and 1 or 2 people talk at once, so some other format.
Thank you. Oh, and is somebody taking notes on this?
Yes.
Thank you so much. So go ahead.
Yes, I second that. I feel like maybe, I don't know if this would be a plus or a delta, but to add on to the plus/delta that Mike brought up. Yeah, maybe we could have like a meeting that's like just for breakout groups. So just like one time where we can all meet, and then if new people come, they can just like choose which breakout group to work with during that.
Okay, cool. And, sorry, just to fully flesh out your idea, is that like around a topic or like in committees or?
Yes, like committees, like just like a Harwood meeting night, but it's like committee night, so we have like groups,
Yeah.
we all just like do our work at one time.
Yes.
Great idea, thank you. Other folks? Go ahead.
You did, oh, you did great.
Yeah,
Like, you did so
Happy
good.
to be of service. Okay.
This is my first time, and it's cool to see lots of new folks I haven't seen before. And I felt welcomed, and I feel like I know what's happening. There's more happening than I thought. It's so cool.
Yay.
Does anybody have any good recommendations, sorry to raise my hand, for food for next time? We do Patra's Pizza a lot, which I love, but does anybody have any local places we should support that we can order? We also have tried Taste This in the past, but they don't do Mondays.
It's a place on like 25th and St. Paul Greenhouse. Is that-
Oh, yeah,
I
you
love
told
their
me about
food.
that, Mike, yeah, let's do that. I love how you're just like, well, what is this? You know.
Maybe it's.
Okay.
Maybe it's good.
Actually, we need to remember that, Greenhouse Juicery for next time.
I think that's our same.
Yeah, maybe we can appoint a food person now. We have time, and maybe potentially a notes person, so we don't have to do that every time. And then if it changes, go from there.
Also, just thank you to our note taker.
Yeah.
I don't mind
As-
taking notes, it helps me pay attention, and so, and I feel like it fits within the role. So I'm happy to be note taker and pass off if anyone else like really likes taking notes, like share that with someone if they want to.
Just a delta to play off your point, we will commit to having roles better established beforehand for the responsibilities so that we're not doing it on the fly.
I'd like to add to that too. I think we are often scrambling with materials when we get here too, of like, oh yeah, we need a sign-in sheet. I grabbed a stack from someone in the hallway as they were walking past of pieces of paper, which is great, like that, it often always just comes together, but we could be a little more organized about that. But also, I wanted to say that it was really very cool to see everyone so engaged tonight.
Yeah, for a Monday night, that's great.
Now I feel like I'm just quibbling, but on the sign-in sheet, if we've already, been a bunch of times, we're putting down our emails and phones every single time, I don't have to do that, right?
No, you
I
don't.
can just
Just put
put my
your
name,
name. Yeah.
cool.
Just your name.
Yeah.
Thank you, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, in the spirit of that, the live stream thing, I'm consistently getting here at or before 6 o'clock, so showing up around that time, like, it's a real slow burn for me. It feels really good, but someone will be here at about 6. I will generally be here at 6 o'clock if that's anything holding you back. There are people here, and we love getting on. That's what it feels like.
Great, thank you.
On that note, and this is more for the board than anything else, we need to make sure we reserve this just for the full year, we gotta reach out. Somebody remind me, I'm making a note to myself, but that's something, just so that we don't have any situations where we take it for granted and it's not available.
When does Yvonne come back?
She's back. No, she's in Florida right now, she's enjoying the winter.
Good for her.
Yeah.
It
All
is
right.
3 minutes from 8 o'clock right now.
Wow.
Thank you so much, timekeeper, great job.
Yeah.
Okay, so, if there's nothing else, we're gonna go ahead and close. There is a lot of information up here, there's some information that's like written on the board. Please make sure you connect with anybody that you said you were gonna connect with. Do the things that you said you were gonna do. And yeah, just wanted to leave you with like having community association meetings that can kind of seem like, oh, it's a bunch of informal connections with people. But like when things happen and you need help in your community, these networks can actually be really helpful and get you through really tough times. Or maybe just like you need a shovel or something like that. But yeah, thank you all for your participation tonight, and have a lovely evening.
I know.